Katie Clancy, Chief House Hawker at the Cape House at William Ravis, and this is the Cape House Show, where we give you the tips, the tools, and the sense of humor you're going to need to get through the biggest transaction of your life. And this month, with the March market update, in the biggest pandemic of your life, maybe the only, hopefully, the only pandemic of your life ever. Anyway, it's going to be a little longer this time and a little more involved because everything is a little bit more difficult right now. So without any further ado, let's take a look. All right, so we're going to go right to the charts here because I think the most relevant data that you need in this moment from what I can get on these charts is where are unit sales going? So unit sales for both, you can see we've got both towns, Dennis and Yarmouth here, were coming up. They're both coming up, and then they went down, and that is not a huge surprise. However, I will show you something kind of interesting here, is that this is an article from the Cape and Cod Islands Association of Realtors that said March 2020, actually, we finished up 10% from last year. So we went into this market, we went into this pandemic like barreling along, really doing well. And even with the second half of March kind of falling off the cliff a little bit, we still outperformed last March and actually last quarter nationally. We as real estate, as an industry. So that's just part of the story. Let's get back over here. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about, we're going to talk to you today about, we're going to talk about what's happening on a global level, what's happening national, state, and then what's happening Cape Cod. We're going to talk about what's going to happen next because I have a crystal ball. I don't really, but I'll give you what I do know. And then we're going to talk about, well, what do you do now? What is your job at this point in this whole thing? So globally, we look to the East to sort of see how they have handled things. How have they adapted? What are things? What's happening there, just in the pandemic, but also just in business. So in China, their real estate is actually up to pre-pandemic levels. That's encouraging. Nationally, according to Luxury Portfolio, resort markets, which is what we're in, are doing pretty well, relatively speaking. But here's the information that I think is most important for us to consider. So if you look back 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, really, since 2007, when we had our last sort of economic shock, it was triggered by a crash in the housing industry. We were the problem. We were not a symptom. We were the problem and we caused it. But since then, we've learned something. Americans have 66% more savings than they did back then. So we came into this with more money in the bank. And we have deleveraged ourselves, which means we have not stopped, but we have gotten a lot better about using our houses as an ATM. So with the cash out refinances, if anybody remembers, that was very popular in 07, 08. I did one myself. And we got better at paying our mortgages. In fact, before the virus, we had record low mortgage default rates, which is great. So we went into this pandemic in great economic shape as a nation, as a state, and certainly locally on Cape Cod. From a state perspective, there was an article in the Globe last week about a predicted slower recovery in Boston, just because of the way things have been hit and how hard they've been hit. And listen, the shutdown is really hard on everybody, and it's going to depend a lot on how the government responds, how much money they're able to put back into the economy, because it's all about cash flow, you guys. It's just, the money's there, but when it stops moving, that's when we get in trouble. When it keeps moving, that's a good thing. And the way it ought to move, that's up to you. You decide what you want to do with your money, but please do something with it. Sidebar, if you think you are a candidate for forbearance, and many people are candidates for it, unless you absolutely have to do it, I hope you watch the show that I did with Frank Marola, our mortgage guy. Forbearance is likely to come back and forbite you in the bum in not too short a time. So if you don't have to, don't do it, but check that video out for more information. Okay, back on task here. So going back to the Globe, talking about the Cape, the Globe was saying that the Cape market is doing great, and which is half right because of the way we came into 2020. Q1 was better than Q1 for 2019. March was better this year than it was last year, even with COVID. So we really are strong. But the truth is, the bottom is falling out for a short period of time. We are not going to have hardly any activity, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That is the truth. But it's so temporary, you guys. We're going to have a recession. Yes, it's going to be deep. Yes. And it's going to be over like that. So it will still take us a little time to recover, but this isn't going to be a years-long event. All right, so what's going to happen next? From a business perspective, the real estate industry generally as a whole is pretty well prepared. And I can tell you, my company and certainly my team have completely adapted to doing totally touchless transactions. We can list and sell a house. We can work with buyers. We have brought in all the tools that we need to keep everybody safe under any government issued advisories or requirements or your preferences. Whatever you want, we can do it. We can really accommodate any level of concern when it comes to germs, infection, all that good stuff. So we're ready. We're ready when you are. You're not ready yet, though, and that is what we understand, and we respect that. I did a video last week about we're here for you to not do real estate. Unless you have to, don't. Because it can wait. Lots of things can wait. There's a lot of other more important things that you probably need to be paying attention to right now. And that comes to my next point. When will the market come back, right? Big question. We're ready for it. We got all the things in place. We can do this. The market will come back when you're ready for it. That's the bottom line. When people feel that the need or the want to buy and sell is stronger than the risk they feel in going out and leaving their house to go do that business, that is when the market will pick up. There are some people who will not do a virtual tour. They don't want to rely on photos and video to buy a house. They want to get inside it, and they're not going to do it until they feel good and ready to do that. So it's really going to be dictated by how they feel, and those feelings, sadly, are going to be dictated by what we hear in the media. And we hope that the media will report accurate things and not sensationalize, overblow, underblow, but we get what we get, right? So I encourage you to listen to lots of different news sources, listen to them critically, check the facts, learn, and then act as you feel appropriate. But in any case, no matter what, this is going to improve. The situation is going to get better. The virus will run its course. We're working on vaccines and treatments, all that stuff. There's a lot of energy going towards making us be able to get out there and feel safe doing business again. And that's all going to happen. What's going to change, though, I predict, these are my predictions, is that the reasons that people buy and sell will change. Big decisions are going to be made this summer. Big decisions. There will be marriages. There will be divorces. There will be people like second home buyers who have like toyed with the idea of maybe buying a Cape house, or like, life is short. Let's buy the Cape house. Let's just do it now. I'm not waiting anymore. There's no perfect time. Let's do it. So we're going to see that's going to be a category of buyers that is going to grow. We've always had them coming to the Cape, say, that's it, I'm just going to do it. But there's a lot more sort of soul searching going on. We're also going to see people, Gene Petralia, one of my colleagues, mentioned this, and I thought this was a really good point. And he said, people are going to be looking for more open space. They're going to be looking for a place where they can stretch out and be safe and walk their property and be outside and get near a stream or a body of water or a trail or something where they can feel safe, but also expansive. And I love that thought. And I think he's onto something with that. We are also going to see some people say, that's it. We are not risking anything. We are going to circle our wagons. So we're going to see people, like, at least for a year, be like, all plans are on hold. We're not buying anything. We're not selling anything. We just got to regroup. People have lost jobs. Jobs have been changed. People are going to change that's the other thing. People are going to leave their jobs and they're going to do different things. I've talked to one person who's actually like, you know what? I was toying with retirement, and now that I've had a little practice at it, I'm going for it. So we're going to see these changes happen. And with those changes in life come changes in household. It changes in your home and where you live and how you live. So that is going to trigger activity in the market. It's going to be really interesting to see that unfold. And in terms of like when this is all going to happen, like I said, I think the big decisions are going to be made this summer. When people are going to act on things, who's to say? All the normal rhythms of life and business have been disrupted. School, we're probably not going to have any more school in Massachusetts for the rest of the year. So we're not going to have that end of the year. We're not going to have people waiting till the end of the year. And who knows what's going to happen in the fall? Are people going to try to move to get into a school district before the fall, or is it going to matter? Who knows? Nobody knows. So there's so much mystery still coming. Ask me next week and we'll have more information. So there is clear as mud what's happening next. So what should you do now? What's your job right now? Right now, if you're a buyer, you should get educated. If you had a pre-approval and that's more than a couple of weeks old, you should renew it. Go see your lender and get a new one. A lot of the rules have changed. If you were on the cusp in terms of credit score, you probably don't qualify anymore for FHA government-funded loans. It's just the way it is. There's too much risk. Investors are being much more fussy. You are going to be under some more stringent rules. It's for your own good. I know it stinks. It's awful. It's a heartbreaker. We had people who were qualified on a Monday, rules changed on Friday, not qualified. And now they're back in the trenches trying to crank up their credit scores. Listen, you guys, we're all going to take our licks on this. It sucks. Okay. And there's no easy way to get through this. And if it means that you have to wait another 6 months before you buy a house, that's it. To just be grateful for your health, right? Okay, so so a lot has changed. You got to make sure that you can still afford it. Not just you can still afford it, certainly check that, but also just make sure that your credit scores are good. And you might give you time to do some more saving too. A lot of people are getting stimulus checks, or they're getting loans or grants from the government. If you can save some of that, that's a really smart use of it for whatever you need, for an emergency, for buying a house, whatever it is. I really want to be careful not to tell you what to do with that, but I will tell you that please be smart with it and don't do silly things with it. So I guess I am telling you what to do with it. I tend to do that. All right, sellers. Invest in your yard. Invest in your yard and the exterior of your house. It's that time of year anyway. It's springtime. You should be doing your spring cleanups. You should be planting pansies. You should be making sure your roof doesn't need to be replaced. Check your trim. Oh my gosh, sidebar. Is anybody else being woken up by woodpeckers at god-awful times of the morning when you don't even have to get up anymore? Right? Like 5:30 in the morning, Mr. Woodpecker on the side of my house. Worse, on my gutters, because they make so much noise. The lady woodpeckers are so impressed. Anyway, my point is woodpeckers are destroying your trim as we speak. It is the season where that kind of thing happens. If you have damage on your trim from woodpeckers, termites, whatever, and it needs to be replaced, take care of it. It's a great time to do it. You can hire contractors to come and work on the outside of your house. No contact, no risk. And if you're going to hire someone to do anything on the exterior of your house, painting, trim, roof work, shingles, landscaping, spring cleanups, I'm going to put a giant plug in here for Clancy and Castano, which is my husband's company, because they're awesome. And because it's my husband's company, but also because they're awesome. And anybody new who signs up with them now is getting a $50 gift certificate to the Cape Cod restaurant of their choice. So I will put the link in the comments here for you to do that, but you can also find them at clancycastano.com. Let's see. So that's number one. Work on the exterior for sellers. Work on the exterior of your house and on your yard. Curb appeal is everything. Many people may never get inside your house until they close. Crazy thought, but entirely possible. So people may be judging your house exclusively on what it looks like on the outside and the yard. So now, more than ever, curb appeal is critically important. Number 2, start packing. There are things you can pack right now. Pack the china you haven't been using. Pack the clothes that you're not, for God's sake, give them away. Half of them you don't even wear, but that's a whole other conversation. But start packing. I have a resource from my friend Bill Tierney I referenced in a previous video. I will put it in this one too. It's brilliant. He's funny and he's right on the money for what you could do to start packing right now. So that you can get some of that clutter gone and also make the transition easier. Because you guys, if I am right in what I really think is going to happen when we all feel comfortable going out shopping again, is that it is going to be nuts. It is going to be insane. We have all this pent up demand that is usually happening right now. It's going to be compressed into a shorter period of time. I think that things are going to sell very quickly. People are going to be very enthusiastic about getting into these houses when they feel comfortable. Make sure your house is ready for that. Okay. And then the last thing I'd love to see you do, this would make me so happy. If you're one of my clients and you're getting ready to sell, this would just warm my little heart. If you would gather up your records. Which records? So I would like you to find paid invoices for any maintenance or upgrades that you've done in the past 5 years. And find documentation for the age, no matter how old it is, the age of your roof, your windows, your HVAC system, your hot water heater. And then, so those are the 4 biggies that people are always looking for, and which are typically where a house deal can fall apart in a home inspection. So those are the 4 biggies: roof, windows, HVAC, and hot water heater. Get documentation on the ages of those and make sure that they're in good shape. If you feel comfortable, have those things serviced, looked at, evaluated. Even better, if you want to go all the way, have a home inspection. Oh my goodness, that is just the best thing you can do. A pre-inspected home gives buyers huge peace of mind before they go and make their offer. So those things you can do. And the other thing that, get your records and find out about that, get yourself on a pest maintenance treatment. So like a pest control, pest preventative program. Those are the 5 things that usually cause the most friction at a home inspection. So if you get those things handled now and you get the outside looking great and you're half packed by the time we're ready to sell, my friend, you will be so far along in the process. You will have so much less stress and anxiety when it really comes time to get the house sold. All right. So those are the things. We talked about how the market is, what's going to happen next, what you should do now. And then right now, all of that aside, right now, this minute, I want you to take this opportunity of the great pause and count your blessings. Okay? There's a lot of burdens. I know you're under a lot of stress. I know there are a lot of things that aren't awesome right now. But by golly, if you are breathing and listening and watching this right now, you have a lot more than a lot of other people do. It's not the way nobody expected this pandemic. Nobody expected to get sick. And certainly nobody expected to pass away from this. You did not. And we're happy for that. And you should be happy for that too. And if your loved ones are near you, you should be happy for that. So a lot of things to be happy about, you guys. Focus on those. Remember what's most important. If you need to buy or sell a house, it'll happen. We'll get to it. Don't worry about it. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll see you next time.